Hey, Paradox from JuanSource.com, and I'm doing a commentary today on Season for you guys. So this is, I believe, a CEVO match. I think a CEVO match on D Season, maybe SCA, I'm not sure. But in any case, it is against Team Legacy. So D Season, starting off right away, getting into the piss around, a little bit of confusion. In the beginning, I do opt for the Deagle, just because, sometimes you just get that feeling, you want to, normally I like the Glock armor and go that way, and set off for the Deagle. So, this round, you see we do a pretty quick ace split. We have one or two players go over from the catwalk, and we have three guys from the upper. Really quick take on the A-bomb site, not a lot of resistance. We were able to get the entry frag, and at this point it's just all holding the bomb site. Staying alive, keep preserving their life, making good peeks, and you saw I was able to pick one guy off long range, and that's really a good choke point to catch people at whenever you're defending and you have two or three guys playing at that, what people usually call the U or horseshoe or whatever people call that. Just kind of peeking in and out, and maybe peeking a little bit upper, keep peeking towards CT spawn. Timing your peek is going to be really important in there. Even if you peek and you don't get the kill, that player's going to have to come through that choke point over at the lower spawn and look to his left, look to his right. So you kind of want to peek in and out really quickly, maybe even stutter step a little bit to peek, see if he's looking away, re-peek out, and boom, get a shot on the side of his head. So pretty straightforward take on the A-bomb site. That's a really hard bomb site to hold on the piss around, I think. So just a nice little walk explode, and here we are in the eco round. So good pistol win on T side, and going with that power middle. Of course, you do want to be careful of the nades on the eco round. You want to be careful for the unexpected things there, and we did delay a little bit over at middle, and just be careful of those nades and take it by force. So definitely want to overpower, overrun on the eco rounds. I really don't like splitting up and sending people to scout, people this way, people that way. For the most part, just go ahead, group together, and even if they're going to be grouped together, you have armor, you have AKs, and MP5s and nades, and you have the advantage no matter what you do, as long as you stick together. If you start spreading out, it may work too, but you do have to be a little bit careful, and one guy gets picked off with a Deagle or a lucky shot or something like that, and it's just kind of the way it goes, and then you're down to 5-on-4, they have a gun, and things can go downhill from there. So I do like the approach of sticking together on the eco. This round we're not really sticking by that, but playing overall pretty passive and pretty cautious on the middle. So we eventually do group up three guys towards the middle. We have one guy over at B, being a little bit of a hero, probably K-Sharp, because K-Sharp loves being a hero. Not quite Superman, bro. Oh man, I love. Yeah, but anyways, so do try to play with a little bit of discipline, and you see here, we do get a little bit split up, and now we're in a really tough situation, taking this A-bomb site. And a big thing about this A-bomb site is that you have to take Dark Hall and upper control, because if you don't take Dark Hall, you don't take upper control, you're going to put yourself in a lot of trouble. They get aerial advantage, they got that Dark Hall advantage, and it could just put you in a ton of trouble there. So you do really want to be careful, and maybe send at least some of your force over to that upper horseshoe. So just a little commentary on this little 1v2. Funshine was able to pick one guy off, and this is a big thing in any last man standing situation, is if you're able to pick the last guy off, or pick one off at a time, there you go. That much easier on your life. And a possible disaster of losing the eco turns into a round one. And sometimes if you're in a 2-on, you're in the favorable 2-on-1, meaning you have two guys live or three guys live. Sometimes it's kind of, you're not really able to get away, and you have to sort of fight that fight one-on-one, but that's a really rare and odd case. So whenever possible, do try to group up, do try to maybe even delay it 1 or 2 seconds, get your teammates involved, but do realize, you know, some situations do exist, and I know I put a lot of emphasis on that, on those odd man situations where you don't want to go in on your own and fight on your own. Sometimes it's inevitable, and you just have to go out and make the shot, make the play. So, you know, don't kind of close your mind off to that either, because that's a part of the game as well. So anyway, this round, you know, basic gun round, looking to work a B split here and systematically work in the middle. We did get entry picked in the middle, but our B players were able to take over the B bomb site, so we're in a favorable situation there. And again, that middle, notice we didn't have any ops that round, and that's a way you can go. You know, you could go ahead and you could just work AKs, use their smokes, use their flashes, and make you know, make their opera uncomfortable. So it's a little bit of a situation here. Put him to a 1-on-1, and we're gonna see what happens. So 1 HP, and boom, confidence prevails with the AK. Headshot, and you know, sometimes the greatest moments that you see, and obviously, you know, that's nothing of this sort, but you know, sometimes the greatest plays are in the most impossible situations, you know, and that's the point where you just go with your gut and say, I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to make this shot, I'm going to make this play, instead of overcomplicating, overthinking things. Strategy's great, but sometimes you do have to just go out there, impose your will, make the play, hope for the best. Alright, and that was a situation where that had to be. So overall, just a pretty back and forth round, and was able to come out with a few frags and win that 1-on-1 in the end. So this round, anytime you get picked off, especially initially, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough going, and really you're going to see us group up here and hope to take a bomb site. After you're down to 4-on-5 or something like that, you know, even 4-on-4, that's a good point to group up. Whenever you start going into those odd man situations, you just want to group up and try to overpower 1 or 2 guys. You know, use your remaining numbers and use them together. You know, and that's really the way to go. So that's what you're going to see here. We are able to take a little bit of control over at this B bomb site. It's going to be tough going from here, but you know, at least get in the bomb site, use those numbers, and get a plant down, get some money going. You know, can't go wrong with that. So just in a really tough situation, kind of pinned down in the bomb site. And you know, some rounds, even if you're not going to get the win from it, you know, you're not going to get the round 1, you may as well go ahead and make the best effort in that round, you know. And I see a lot of teams, a lot of players that just give up on rounds and say, hey, it's an eco, I'm in a 1-on-5, you know, I'm just going to give up on this round. But the team that prevails is the team that puts the most effort into each and every round, each and every situation. So, you know, don't give up on the round. 3-on-5, really tough circumstance, but make the best of it. Even if the round's lost, make the best of it. Set yourself up for that next round. You see, you know, as opposed to last, you know, if we hadn't gotten that bomb plant, we're down 800, we don't set ourselves up for the next 1, 2, 3 rounds. Now we're, even though the CTs did win that round, now we're able to completely rebuy. Even if we lose this round again, if we kill, you know, 3 or 4 and we get a bomb plant again, we continue to pressure their money, and we win the money game, especially with on T side with AKs. You know, lower cost AK to Colt. We're gonna win that money battle. So you know, just a little bit of food for thought there. Really, just never want to give up on a round. Just why would you ever do something like that? So once again, you know, in a 3-on-5 situation here, and we're just gonna have to make the best of it. We got entry picked here twice, and what else can you do but try to respond with entry kills of your own, you know? So it's gonna be a little bit of tough going, but now, and of course, you know, that doesn't make things any better either. But myself getting TK'd, but it's been kind of give and take so far this match, and started going a lot into the mental aspects of CS, putting that effort every single round, and just kind of bouncing back from a round loss and from a tough circumstance. We started out really good, and we got the pistol round, and we got the first gun round, and a 1v1 that came down to 1 HP. We won an eco round that was a 1-on-2. An eco, of course we had the guns and they were saving, and won a 1-on-2 there. So it just got the team that puts the biggest effort, and you see our fifths lagging out a lot here. Funshine just constantly lagging out. You gotta just try to play past that, and complaining and just making excuses in the moment, in this moment where the match is on the line, is not going to help you win at all. The other team's not going to have sympathy and say, oh, they have 4, we're going to go easy on them. They may go stupid on you and try to get really aggressive and play a little bit differently, but they're not going to have sympathy on you, that's for sure. So, don't expect that sympathy, and don't beg for that sympathy by whining and complaining. Just go ahead and keep your minds together and make the best of it, So, that's what we're doing right now, and even though we won the first 4, it's tough going from here. So 4-3, and getting the advantage early on, and sort of trying to keep that advantage is going to be key. So far, I mean, we didn't really prepare too much for this match, so it's not really a lot of strategy going on, but and I think we're in pause time now, but talking a little bit about the strategy on this map. Me personally, I think this is a very T-sided map. It can be a very T-sided map. You just have a lot of different ways you could go. You could, and I'll recommend you some old 3D demos from CGS Season 2. Juan and those, Juan did a great job as a strat caller that year. Even though he's my nemesis that season, I gotta hand it to him. He really did a great job on season. Did a great job with 3D and organizing and stratting, and all those guys, just their collective minds put together, came out with a lot of great ideas on this map, and had a good system, a rather basic but a good established system. And if you go back and watch some of their demos, they had, what I really liked about them is that you could flash over from middle into the A bomb site. So they would send the guy out the vent and flash over into the A bomb site, even sometimes on B takes, and that pretty much just kind of blinds the whole site and makes players uncomfortable playing there. They'd have some smokes they'd drop off and establish a pretty good control of middle. So a lot of ideas go into this map, and then if you watch a few of the optics demos, came up with some mid double smokes. You could really take control of middle in so many creative ways. And middle, I think, is a really hard area to hold for the CTs, unless I think the CTs should have to commit 2 players to middle to effectively hold middle. Alright, if it's taken correctly, if you double smoke earlier on, once again, refer you to maybe some season optics demos from season 2, maybe some of the later ones. See the smokes that me and Mo do over in middle, and I'm pretty sure I've done them, probably another commentary or an article. I've probably shown you guys those double smokes over at mid that smoke off that left side of the middle, just bouncing them over from the spawn. You could get really creative with your smokes there, and you could boost the guy over the box and get a good system going there, and just give those mid players so much to worry about. Send the guy out the vent, boost over the box, use smokes, and really just give them hell over in that middle. And don't stop there. Sometimes you may want to continue, flash off mid, get into their B connector, get into their A connector, get in their faces, and make them contest that. Make them commit 1 or 2 guys to that mid, or face the consequence of having people running in backdoor into their bomb sites. So definitely, I think a big, really underutilized concept on season. Even teams that do really aggressive middle and take a middle, I don't think there's enough emphasis paid to that. Early round to late round, just complete and utter annihilation and control of middle can really throw a lot of CT teams off. And again, you do have a lot of options. You could go over to the A and work the dark hall systematically, and maybe maybe try to pick off that guy playing close. AK versus Colt, always a favorable battle, close range. Whenever you get the AK versus Colt, AK one shot to the head, Colt, no matter what you do, you need 2 shots to frag somebody. So that does have implications. Really, close range battles, that is going to matter a lot. So taking the dark hole over at A and working that horseshoe, and anybody playing on around that horseshoe area, or having that opera over in the dark hole, maybe even you could smoke out your own dark hole multiple times. Just kind of food for thought, and work systematically from middle. Just make them worry a lot, and B, do B splits. You could work middle. You could kind of fake that A to middle, send a guy out vent, and a couple guys through mid, and then maybe work to a B split instead of working the A split. So, just make them this map's a lot like Contra, where you want to utilize areas of the map that are going to force the other team to be uncomfortable. Like middle, middle is not a bomb site, so naturally teams don't want to defend it. If you force them to defend it, now that takes away from their bomb site defense. Now maybe you can execute a 5-man on a B or a 5-man on A, because now they're paying more attention to mid. So anyway, kind of getting back into this match, it's really what we're trying to do. Maybe not being forceful enough in middle, maybe using too much smoke and not opping. Our money kind of has to play into this too, and our lag outs and stuff like that. I got picked through smoke. It's always kind of unfortunate. Didn't see where I died from. Didn't get a chance to shoot back. That's no fun. So that's kind of the way this round goes. And you get those where either the opera will get a lucky spam shot, or something happened with their smokes. They weren't covering the full area. But notice once again, we're trying to make the best of this round. And we're put into a 3-on-2, or 3-on-5 rather. One of our players has a Glock, and we're gonna get a plant down anyway. So and now suddenly it's a 2-on-3, and we have a little bit perhaps of an advantage. So once again, making the most of every round. Just can't speak enough about that. So put into a 1-on-2, from effectively a 2-on-5 to a 1-on-2 odd man situation, and we'll see, or 1-on-1 even rather. My mistake there. So once again, not giving up on any rounds, winning the odd mans, and you kind of see this is the second time that we were able to enter that B bomb site late round. That's really important. You do want to realize things like that, like maybe mid round they play 3 towards A, and they play really laid back over at B, and they they're playing an opera far back, letting us enter the bomb site of that opera. We're maneuvering around the shots, and even though they had 2 guys there, we were able to trade and enter that bomb site. So this round, once again, round kind of falls apart. They had 2 guys playing middle, and once again, talking about playing 2 players mid, really contesting that mid and controlling it. That's what they did right there. That's what the CTs did. Had a guy close middle with a Colt, had an opera far back, and just that we weren't really too prepared for that, so it didn't work out for us. So in any case, pretty good shape. I did say this is a really T-sided map, and if things go your way, even sometimes like 11-4, 12-3 T-side is very possible. Very possible with good strategy, good and just having a good day. You could definitely blow teams out on the T side of this map, but kind of going back and forth, and at the very least you do want to stay somewhere around the middle range. So we're right on track for doing that. And notice one of us must have called something here, because we did notice they're playing really passive on B. They're not really contesting the choke points too much, and we're just going to take it right here and now, and we're going to send 5 at them and see what happens. So it doesn't look like great things are happening, but it was worth a try, you know. Just I kind of looked to the wrong place and died, but you know, simple eco round. And if nothing else, that eco round was a good reconnaissance. You know, even though we lost that round, you know, we did kind of gain a little bit from that, in the sense that we saw, oh, hey, this is how they play B now, and this is likely how they're going to continue playing B. You know, having an opper further back and up at upper, and then having another guy in the site, from what I noticed. So now we can kind of have an intelligence there, and we're set up for the next gun round, so not really losing a step there. So this round, I mean, we did go a little slower, and we said, hey, they've been rotating a guy out of B and playing one, and they like posting up an opera and just saying, hey, we're gonna hold it with one opera. At that time, the opera played close, and really important, we weren't in perfect position to do this, but you saw he got one pick, and boom, you know, trade. Go after him and rush him down and make him hit his shots. You know, no hesitation, no fear. So I mean, we're unable to enter the bomb site once again. It may be a little bit tougher to get the plant down this round, but yeah, so we're not gonna end up getting the plant. That was a little bit too much of a delay, and we were a little bit distracted from getting the bomb planted. But you know, those eco rounds, and that was once again an eco round. We did get a 1-for-1 entry. It was a little bit early, and we took a little bit too long to get into the bomb site, get set up, and plant. But again, later round implications from that knowledge that we gained. So this round we decided to do an ace split, just because we can, and we're gonna go ahead and do it. So notice we're working a pretty heavy dark hull here, and likely to be, I think they're likely to be an entry kill, but not going to happen. So normally in this case, this is a kind of bad situation to be put in, because now the other team does have reconnaissance. They didn't really lose anything as a result of it, and they have a good idea of where we're going to go. So at this point, it normally would be a really tough take. Volcano is able to, and this is the point where you really just want to wait from the catwalk and see what happens from there. But Volcano was able to get a pick over on Cat, and their defense sort of falls apart. We had a favorable smoke. I was able to get a pick over at the horseshoe, and that's how you enter that bomb site. So notice how, even if it's one player's playmaking that you have to rely on sometimes, these are better judgment. You know, say you send 3 or 4 guys over to the dungeon, and that's what we had. They did read us sort of early, and it was very likely that they're going to be ready for that dungeon hit. At some point, you just have to say, hey, you know, catwalk guy, you know, Volcano, Sal, boom, you got to get in there, and you got to make something happen. And that's exactly what happened. That's what some of the greatest teams do, is even when things are going bad, they'll roll the dice and they'll say, hey, you got to make this play right now, or hey, you know, move up and help us out here and take a little pressure off us. That's what happened, and you know, turned from a likely disaster into round 1 by doing so. You know, and trusting your teammate over on the other side of the map, over at the other choke point to make the play. And from here, it's just going to be smooth sailing. K-Sharp walking up with the op and picking off, and Volcano with the pick over in mid. You know, 5-on-3. Hopefully I don't die planting the bomb. And the blind man moves. So I guess we didn't really clear catwalk out completely. That's what happened there. So we got stuck over in the middle and whatnot. Still should have a pretty decent defense of this bomb site here. So whenever you get that bomb planted here and you got Funshine defending the bricks, it's going to be a pretty good situation to be in. Then the dark hull bomb planted for you. Probably one of the best spots, if ever, to you know, make your epic clutch, to make your 1-on-3, 1-on-2. whatever it's going to be is exactly in that bomb site there, usually holding that dark hall, holding either the horseshoe or the dark hall there with that bomb planted towards you. You could make a quick peek and kill the diffuser and maybe hide again, and just so it's so annoying to deal with that player defending from that dark hall. So even though we did lose a lot of manpower defending that bomb site, player positioning, having the right players in the right spots, what ended up winning us that round, even though we sort of fell behind on the on the bomb site defense there. So just little concepts that win matches that are really all that's going to be. So once again, we've been whenever I notice we've been taking a certain spot, a lot of the time I like to go there a following round, maybe work it solo and work it. I have a good sense of working it in a similar fashion that we did last round, or kind of anticipating how the other team may adjust, and I use that to my advantage, and either sell a fake or even work it into an entry kill if I'm really confident about what they're going to do there that round. So definitely sold a little bit of a fake at A. Only problem was that we got picked off on the other sides of the map. So the best we could do here is to try to group up once again, and you saw that the bomb got into the bomb site, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen for us here. I got picked off in the middle, kind of goofing off, and the guy in the bomb site with the bomb died, and and you see me say here, if you could read the text, I said we didn't have enough people taking the bomb site, and that's kind of, we did get the bomb into the bomb site, but then we didn't have anybody there. So to get the bomb planted and to help that guy out. So I mean, the fundamental principle again, if you're playing really any round, sending one guy, unless you're really on an eco round desperate to just get the plant and lose a round and get the 800 money, you really want to send more than one guy, usually more than two guys to the bomb site you're going to plant at. You usually don't want to send your main force to take another bomb site. I think that's a little bit too much of a gamble in my book. Normally it doesn't pay off. So that round was just a bit of miscommunication. So that's a little lesson on run and gun by K-Sharp there, courtesy Pandemic 3D K-Sharp. Just go ahead and plow and kill 3. That's a good way to enter a bomb site too. So I mean, but in all seriousness, it does catch teams off guard when you just get in their faces, and what I call the walk and explode. The walk explode strategy, which is so popular, works really well on Inferno on the banana bomb site. That's also a great place at that upper side at the dark hall to walk and explode, and you could catch people off guard, maybe catch somebody trying to flash your nade, and at that point you pour out, you run past that nade, run past that flash, and boom, you're in the bomb site, you're in their faces, and you have the advantage in numbers too. Position, numbers, all turn into your favor that way. So that's kind of what happened there. It's just, sometimes you don't even need nades to enter bomb sites. Just run up and walk up and explode, and trust your talking about that AK shot once again, just that close range AK. So definitely, I think that's one of the cornerstones. Besides really controlling middle, a cornerstone of this map is taking control of that dark hall and really utilizing that dark hall really well. Either walk, explode, or picking off with the op, or however you want to do things that way. So this round, focusing on the CT. We did decide to play a really heavy middle here. We just said, alright, we're just going to lock down the middle. If you want to go here, you're going to test 3 of us, and ended up, there's a risk involved if they do take the bomb site. We do kind of give that up, but, that was a risk we took, and that's so far anyway that it's paying off. I think we may end up losing this round. Maybe not. All right. So yeah, we do end up winning the round, and you know, like I said, it is a little bit of a gamble. My philosophy on the CT pistol round on this map is that it's really hard to hold every single spot. You know, and you saw on our RT side, we just did a really strong A strat, and we just overwhelmed with numbers, really. Once, even if that CT guy gets 1-2 entries, boom, you're in the bomb site, you got a plant, you got position, and it's sort of over from there. So we opted for a strong middle strat, said, hey, if you're going to go here, we're going to win this battle. If you don't go here, we're going to trust our retake. Maybe get an entry or two, and trust our retake on whatever bomb site you go to. That's exactly what happened. I think the key there is going to be to group up and communicate. It sort of becomes like a T strat, and you sort of you really have to put yourself in the mindset of a terrorist in that point, and retaking a bomb site and playing offensively is really the mindset that you have to have. So once you're doing a retake, and do it as a team. You know, you have a 5-on-4, group your team up, get this retake down, and you know, you notice we kind of caught him in the plant stages there, and we were able to get an 8 kill, made life all the more easier. And even though they had a little bit of control, you know, with the horseshoe and our upper, it wasn't enough manpower around and pistol around to defend. So this round again, you notice just brutality over on this middle is just gonna try to take that away from them and make them worry, if anything. If they're going to try to run out this middle, they're going to eat nades, they're going to eat bullets, and they're going to have a really hard time. So kind of that's even a psychological battle against the team these first few rounds, and you could really put these eco rounds to use that way too. If you think, you know, round after round that you've just attacked middles so heavily, and you do that 3 rounds in a row, some teams may not, you know, they may get in the mindset that, oh, they're playing really heavy middle, and they may not adapt that mindset from an eco round going into the 4th gun round. And this is going to be Knife City. Boom. Happy times in Knife City. Anyway, like I was saying, you know, it's sort of a psychological battle too, you know, setting the stage for the rest of the match a little bit. You know, it may work, it may not, but why not try? You know, and exactly what we did. We played a little bit of that psychological battle with them and said, our middle is going to be locked today, you know, and they may be a little more reluctant now, a little more careful now in taking that middle. And you see we're going to continue this trend a little bit, playing 2 middle, and really just giving them a hard time. So I decided to fall back. I sort of anticipated that they were going to either hold mid or hold far back mid and be ready for the push or execute on the bomb site. I believe a call at B was made as well, so I decided not to push all the way through. But we did have solid middle control, or B players, which is an equal round, granted, but B players were able to lock it down. So once again, we're taking, by doing this, and I talked about this earlier on our T side, that middle is a really weak point for CTs, but you could turn into one of the strongest points on your CT that will inhibit so many options that the T's have. You know, the B split, the fast catwalk, really whatever they try to do, you're going to mess with that. And once again, you see this, we played 2B early, and now we're playing 3 middle again. So this round, I got kind of caught in that connector room, and it turns a little bit ugly from there. But and that was just maybe, you know, being a little bit careless and saying, hey, nothing bad's going to happen. Oh, something bad happened. But at that point, it's sort of granted that it's going to be a B split, and we read that early. And because we were able to read that early, now pretty much every single player is over at the B site. And you notice that, you know, we had K-Sharp there, we had Sapphire already in the bomb site who plays B, and Funshine. Normally, this map is a really long rotation. This is a big thing on CT, is that especially players playing in A, to rotate over to B is going to be about a 12 to 15 second rotation in some cases. So you do kind of want to take a little bit of a risk, maybe rotate early, and make a little bit of, you know, make a read. And once again, Funshine
So he was gonna kill you anyway.
Funshine loves PKing. That's what I gotta say, but he makes up for it with the round win. So potentially a pretty bad situation at the start. We got put in the 4-on-5 early, and then into a 3-on-4. Because we were able to make that read and just say, hey, they're going to go B, let's take the gamble and over-rotate to B, we won that round because of that gamble. You know, you're in a 3-on-4, you're already losing that round. Especially on this map, most of the time you're going to have to take that gamble. And I think that's the right thing to do, is to take that gamble and make them guess. You know, say, hey, especially in the later stages of the round, make them guess and say, hey, you know, you have to get lucky to win this round now. You know, you've already gained the advantage. Now you're going to have to get lucky again, you know, and play a 50-50 and roll the dice and see what happens there. I think that's you know, I don't see enough teams doing that, and even the teams I've played for, at some points I've been frustrated with the lack of risk-taking that's present. So just, you know, little idea there. So once again, you know, just moving around the map, taking gambles, making reads, that's a big part of the CT side, with the long rotations that you have from one bomb site to the other, and the sort of the weakness that can be presented over in the middle. You're going to have to make some moves that may be risky, that may be, you know, that maybe you don't want to take, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. And I think that taking risks and taking gambles on this map, maybe playing heavy middle earlier, or, you know, in a 3-on-4 gambling the one bomb site, that really may be the right way to go in a lot of cases on season. So definitely good perspective. It's sort of a mindset and a perspective that you have to open yourself up to, instead of breaking away from that kind of textbook 2-1-2 setup, or the you know, the early round split, and having 2 at B, 2 at A, 1 middle, and getting monotone. Sometimes you have to completely break the system, you know, and play in a way that yeah, it may come back to haunt you, it may come back to bite you, but it may also pay big dividends too. And if you really know how to guess right, you have a lot of experience, you're put into this situation multiple times, and you have a good game sense about you as to where the other team is going to go. Like in this case, they backed off over at B and they broke vents over in middle. You know, it's going to be likely that, hey, number one, they still have presence at B right now. Number one, it's either going to be a B split or they're going A, full on A. So ends up to be a B split, and we're prepared for that. Or I mean, at least that's what it looks like right now. If not, then you know, I do believe they made a mistake. But you know, it goes from a 4-on-5 where we got entry picked to a 4-on-3, and now we're prepared for anything they may throw at us. Now, this was a little bit of a mistake on Legacy's part in trying to split the bomb sites and still sell fakes when they had the advantage. Normally don't really recommend that, just because you already have the advantage. Why are you going to go for the 5-on-3? If you could just say 5-on-4, we'll take it, we'll run with it, let's take a bomb site, you know, and let's make a decision, and let's send our force one way, because you know the defense is going to be split, and you can overpower no matter what. So that's kind of that idea there. So really, once again, you notice that I've been moving around the map a lot and playing a lot of, you know, playing B sometimes, and playing over at middle now. Now we're playing 2 middle, and we're using a lot of variety. We're not getting monotone, and just not allowing them to get in the comfort zone. Hey, oh, they played 2B and 2A this round. Oh, let's take middle. That's the weak point. Oh no, now they have 2 or 3 middle. And things like this really make it difficult for a team to adapt. Alright, you make it really hard for the other team to guess ahead of you, especially, you know, also adapting round after round after round, and changing what you do round after round after round may be predictable. So if anything, I do think as CT, you know, I do think the Ts have the advantage on this map. You know, like I said, I do believe this to be a T-sided map. So CTs do have to implement a little bit of guesswork, and you notice there we did a really quick, really good wipe of that T side, and our CT side rather. Our CT side was more effective than our T side. So just really about that map altogether, it's just going to be a lot of adapting, a lot of switching things up. You know, sometimes you want to play really heavy middle. Sometimes you may even want to play 3A, maybe play one guy upper and two guys CT spawn or something like that. You know, and it kind of realize also Season is a map where teams like to favor a certain bomb site. Some teams really like to take A. Most teams really like to take A rather, and if the other team likes to take B, they'll normally either do one of two things: rush it or do a mid B split. So you can apply that knowledge of how most teams play, and you know, it's not for every team, and systematically run your defense that way instead of just playing monotone 2-1-2. Say, hey, we're going to play 2 or 3 B early round, and then we're going to shift over to 2 middle. Or, you know, they're not going to go A quick if we play 2 mid 3 B, so we're going to give up upper because they haven't rushed it at all, and then we're going to shift over to 2A defense. You know, or you know, find maybe an in between behind that idea. So just kind of food for thought there, and you know, I hope you guys were able to gain some perspective. You know, the more commentaries we do, the less surprises and the less new knowledge, I guess, there is to gain. But I always try to implement some sort of perspective and give you guys whatever I can from our demos. So that's kind of that. Don't want to draw it out more than I have to. If you guys have any requests, you know, I'm haven't been playing any matches really, but if you guys have an old demo you want me to do, any specific map, I'll see what I can run up from the archives, and we'll go from there. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys learned a good bit, and I'll see you guys next time. That's Paradox from JuanSource.com signing off, and have a good day.